Hi everybody, welcome back to Now TV and I am Just Dan YouTube channel here in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Not Washington State, which I love, by the way. Washington rocks. Seattle is better than here. Anyways, that aside, back to the point of today's running around, the hack job story of what I paid publishers to do. So, when Jesus said to get your money back like that, and of course I went through that document a few times. I quit, fired it, got mad, walked away, talked to you guys, and then went back and looked through it again. And no matter what, I kept seeing mistakes. And I was seeing mistakes that I would never ever do in my entire lifetime as a writer, have never done. I couldn't figure out why those mistakes were happening, why those specific kind were being found in the file, the document, and everything. And today, that quickly, the first day I go out and go to the library and go back to the learning center, the creative center in the main library where I am very well known by staff, where I am literally that person that eats and drinks, does what she wants, so nobody says anything. So I went back to see the staff that know me and explained what happened with this file. And then I sat down at a computer at some point after I had sat another test for the marketing course that I've now dropped. I'm not taking another unit because I can't understand the teacher and he doesn't give a transcript of what he says so I can read what he's said from here. He just thinks we're supposed to know what's going on in here, so when we're sitting the quiz, we can give the answers that he wants out of the choices given because we're in his head and we're not. And the PowerPoint presentations he gives does not give any information from what he has said during the videos that would help us understand what he wants us to answer, because you have to understand, as adults in the world, in a bigger picture of marketing, there are more than one right answers when you're doing these SWOTs and TOEs and pest and pestle thingies that they are doing in the world to, check on their businesses. So that dropped, and I moved back to dealing with the Smallville movie, the Jonathan Kent years, book 1. So I finally got down to the creative department, and then I called her over. I'm sorry, I've been trying to contain my laughter for hours, so I didn't come back to do this with you guys for a while, because I was just doing for so long. And I was like, I better do one of those meditative puzzles, a color me world pictures to get the laughter to stop. So she comes over because my problem was I need to take the entire Microsoft Publishing file and put it back into a Word document. And it's not letting me copy and paste 1-page or 2-page view into Word because it's taking the frame, the outline that has been saved in Publisher and putting it into the Word page. So then you can't get the cursor to go underneath and click to the next page. So it basically wants you to do 100 single pages of Word documents, which is impossible because then you can't put it all together. Of course, that would take forever. And I'm not crazy enough to not ask for help and do something that way, which is what I'm saying is wrong with publishing companies and Americans, young people, much younger than me, like that, who think they have an education, which makes you have to wonder why people are given BAs who's giving out educations today, why they're giving them out. They're not learning anything. They're not earning anything. And yet they're charging people money to learn and to be taught and think it's okay to charge them money for that. No, that's what you pay me money to do. Right? To find your mistakes, to teach you how to do things right. That's what going to school is for. That's why we charge you so much money to go. So when you don't pass, if it doesn't work, you didn't learn anything, then you shouldn't get the degree and go out into the world and try to make money doing something you didn't learn how to do when you were paying to learn how to do it in school. So she comes over after I got set up and says, oh, hey, let's try something. Let's just test this. And she takes the Microsoft Publishing file and goes to the save bar. You know how you have the scroll down options of all the different things you can save to. JPEG, Word doc, PDF, and so on. So we look for Word. We're looking specifically for the matching year, right? Because I have Microsoft Publishing 2016. like it's the newest one on their system that I can create and save the file in. And so she's looking for the closest thing to that, because if you're going to save it into that other format, you want it to save identically. And it's got to be as close to the year as possible in programs so that there's no inconsistencies in the transfer. And she could not find Word 2016 in the list. She did find Word. Does anybody even know how old the Word document is, the original Word document? Because I don't. Remember, Word itself, Word, like Word, man, like it's old. Just Word. I'm talking like Word. It's like back to high school. Right against the very beginning of Microsoft madness of desktop computers, when desktop computers like was a mortgage payment to get. So she did it because we're using the library computers, and she saved it into Word just to test it, because she's like, oh, not going to be the same, but we'll see how much different it is. And then we open it up. And I said, oh my God, you did it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There it is. You did it. That's the hack job, I said. That's what they did wrong to it. And I'm showing her specifically the very first line, the very second line, and other points on the page underneath it that was identical. Same mistakes, same way it's done and style. And I'm like, humans don't do that. People who write don't do that. These are mistakes I have never done, can't do, because I'm not a computer and the computer's not me. So there's very different forms of these weird things. And this is what I was visually being aware of. This is not something that professional writers would miss or make the mistake of doing. It doesn't make sense. You don't put a word, an apostrophe, and then RE, and then keep writing, and then it's all just one little thing, and you don't have any understanding of what the word was, where the apostrophe RE is after the other word, where it's all squished together, even supposed to be. Anyways, she did it in the conversion of the Word document. She proved it in one shot in 30 seconds. What those guys were doing for money, what they're charging money to do, and try and call themselves professionals. So she did it in 2 seconds, well, 30 seconds, I said, transferring over to the old Word document from a new Word Publishing 2016 document. What it is they did that screwed up the whole thing, that did the butcher job. And so what they did, once it was transferred over to the old Word document, and the butcher job started, what they then did for a month was try reading through it with the butcher job transfer and fix everything without really noticing how bad it was. Like to miss the entire first line and not recognize that it's just not even there. That it's cut off halfway and then jumps to the next line. Right? If you can't get that right, well, you've got 1 month to proofread through the saved transferred file from a newer file to an old Word file, which you should never do. And if you're a professional and know anything about the documents, the file, the programs, and the history of them and how it all works, then you know not to do that one thing of all things. Like, that is the thing to go to school to learn, to not do, to grow up on computers, to do it yourself and learn and know not to do. And therefore, that quickly I knew to ask for my money back, because that butcher job proved to me that I'm the one that should be paid to teach them how to become better at what they think they want to do, so that people don't have the same thing happening to them that happened to me. Like, literally, they shouldn't be in business. I literally made the videos asking Clark to go get my money, telling Tom to go there after he's looked through the butcher job, and then the file we did today in the save bar from the Microsoft document into Word, and then he can compare it with my perfect Microsoft publishing file between the two other files, the one the librarian did today and the one they sent me yesterday that they spent a month trying to clean up the hack job on, to see the difference of their improvements and how little improvements there are based on the standard of perfect I had. And I'm aware of Tom's attitude. I get it. He don't have to talk. I've been around long enough in the background doing security and watching his career and getting to know him to know he's thinking, why on earth would you pay anybody to try to make something that's already perfect any better? How can you make perfect more perfect? How do you make perfect better? And so that's why I knew to get my money back, because I'm going to show people how you can take perfect and improve upon it. Right? When you're naturally able to, when you absolutely have the vision, when you know the answer, when it's all within you, when you have the solution or how you want something to look and have the skills to do it, then you go ahead and do that, and then you can show them afterwards. That's why I got my money back, because I can do that in 18 days while I waited a month for you guys to do something wrong in 30 seconds the minute you saved it in the Word document that you spent a whole month trying to fix, send back to me, and absolutely didn't get it. So they can see that that's a waste of time and the waste of a person's money for them to try to figure out how to do. And they can see that in my 18 days of improving upon perfect. So you make perfect more perfect, what I got done, which I will get done, because the story continues here. She did something else after the Word thing did that thing, and I freaked out and told her everything I told you earlier tonight when I came back and why I've been away is exactly what happened. That's the hack job. She thought it was great. It's just witnessing it. It's just literally looking at why Jesus said, get your money back. But Jesus did it. Within 48 hours, he proved to me why he said, get your money back and do it yourself. Don't avoid, don't put things off. Don't, what do you call it? Procrastinate. Stop avoiding. If you can do it, then just do it. And so what I wanted was for somebody to write small letters on the top of each page, the chapter they're reading, and at the bottom of the page in small letters it would say what the name of the book is, and then you have the page numbers in the corner, and sometimes you have these like pretty little graphs here, and then you have the separate page that has the title of the chapter they're about to go into, and sometimes you have little pretty graphs or pictures in there, right? And so that kind of extra good stuff to make it look like a book instead of just a manuscript that's going to be made into animation and produced as a 2-part movie and Audible and maybe other stuff, live theater, fun stuff, improv. But they didn't see it. And when I got that back and they hadn't done any of those little things, it's clear they had no idea what somebody at my professional capacity and my skill level and my being an English major and lifelong writer was looking for the supreme package, the premium package I had paid for. Premium membership, premium package. So that means the works. And the works means to be able to do all of those little things without touching the actual writing, the words in between, because that doesn't need to be done. I did that already. That's why I'm paying you $400 for the premium extra stuff to make perfect better, right? To improve on perfect, to make perfect more perfect. And so he's still thinking, and Thomas, it's cursed. And you can't make perfect more perfect, because that's when you'll start getting mistakes. So the point is, she says next to me after we discovered the word problem and the hack job, and we realized that the mistakes that were made was made by the conversion of saving the file from Microsoft Publishing into an old Word file program, which cannot save a newer program into an older document of Word and be the same. Like, not even the first page with the picture of the castle in England on the cover was even in the document. Never mind all the mistakes. And the mistakes that was being made was made from the Word document itself, because it's just a program. It's not a person. And so that's why I couldn't understand the mistakes I was looking at as a writer, because it's mistakes writers like myself could not make as writers. It just wouldn't happen and couldn't make sense of it, right? These guys are paid to do this stuff. How could they possibly do that as writers and be in business? It made no sense. But if you are doing that and don't know not to do that in the first place and then start reading it, and you're not being careful, you're not being compassionate or attentive, then you're going to be finding those mistakes so much that you're going to miss a lot of them trying to fix it and waste your time, waste my time, waste the money. And then all the little stuff I was expecting to get done to make perfect, more perfect, to make it look like a book instead of a movie, isn't going to get done and work out that way. She solves the problem again after that doesn't work. And she goes, oh, well, I like it this way better. Let's do this. Let's save the Microsoft publishing file in PDF. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. Because it was getting too late. I had sat my test. Hours have gone. So there's just no point in doing any more work tonight. I'm done for the night. Let's just save it in PDF. That's a winner for me. And she does. And it turns out great. It's fantastic. Looks just fine. All pieces are there. There is no butcher job, no hack job. It's all as well. And blows it up, and it looks even better when it's even bigger on the screen because it's a really big desktop screen computer. So then she shows me another secret, and she shows me where to click on the PDF information on the side. When you have access to a paid PDF program, you have lots of options. So she shows me where to open it up, and it blows up on the screen. All the pages of the book in single on the screen. And you can click on any page you want, go into it, fix it, do whatever you want right away, and then it goes back into the file. So I don't have to actually look for, the 2-page view all the time and go through the whole thing 2-page view wide. I can go from page to page off that big, huge screen of all the pages and do all the hoity-toity little itty-bitty details I want. And so that's the goal. I'm going to do all that in the PDF file without even having to worry about changing it over to the Microsoft Word 2016 file at this point in time, because I'm on Chrome. I do Google Pixel. I'm already in the cloud. I already do Google Docs. Like, I don't buy and own any of Microsoft Word programs. But that's behind me, man. That's going forward backwards. And the problem with the libraries, they haven't updated yet, but it's coming. So I have to go there whenever I have to deal with any of that part of the history of technology. This is what I'm saying about needing to patent my own ideas on how to build my own computers and tablets and laptops and stuff to improve upon the things I already know professionally, because I grew up with computers and all the different forms of internet from the beginning. I have been tapped in. I am literally Matrix. So, I've been there, and that's why when I moved to the country, backcountry trips, that's why I want to do portaging, because I want to disconnect. I want to pull the plug. I want to turn it all off and, sit in front of a fire and roast marshmallow in a cabin and hear the sounds of birds and crickets and frogs and not technology going off or sending me messages. So when you get that kind of experience and you've been around online that long, you kind of learn through the eras that go by what the bests are. You learn all the mistakes. You learn what not to do about things. So that's why I recognized really quickly that they were not smart enough or educated enough, not capable enough to do the job at my level of professionalism, what I need them to do. And so I didn't waste any more time waiting for the miracle of hoping that Tom sees any of these, or that Talkville finds them in their Instagram inbox and watches them and start realizing it's funny. And then he shows up with today's copy, yesterday's copy from them, and the original copy at their offices after he's gone through all the copies as himself or Clark, either way, and then just spiels off a thing to them about the fact that they can't do this and shouldn't be doing this, especially for money. So I have learned today I will not be paying anyone ever again to do anything around my work and publishing in this capacity professionally because no one knows what they're doing. Things have gone backwards with the education system because of the invention of the internet and all these Word documents and other spelled and grammar check programs that they're using for their brains instead of their brains. If you can't do the job first before using technology, then you don't know how to use the technology. And if you don't know how to use the technology, then you can't do the job. Right? You have to be able to do the job without the technology first in order to know how to use the technology to help you with all the knowledge you already know how to do. Right? And it's only there to help you a little bit, to boost things along, to make it easier and better. But you can't use it to replace all of that. As if you don't need to know it and don't need to learn it and think that it's just going to do it and solve it for you. It's not. And so I knew to just not go any further with the conversation, and now I just wait. And why it's okay that it takes 18 days is because in that 18 days of me going to the library, I'm going to finish doing the thing that Tom is thinking in the back of his head is impossible. You can't take perfect and make it even better. So I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to make it the way it should have been for the $400 in the premium package I paid for. Should look. And then I'm going to send it to them. They're going to get to see the finished package of the file, the PDF one, in the 18 days, what I get done in 18 days, which is half the month of the month they took to butcher that work that they did in just transferring it over from one file to an older file. That's all they did to butcher it. And they waited for 1 month to send me something and try to say that they had worked really hard on it. Okay, so I'm going to take half the time they did and fix it in PDF. Show them what my $400 was supposed to get me back. And show Tom what it looks like when you take perfect and make it even better. Right? Because you can always improve upon something, but you can't fix what's already been done from the past, right? You'll never forget what's happened, so you have to learn from that. Move ahead. So I'm saving money. I need that money anyway because I'm moving. I'm buying a home. Come hell or high water when I turn 50, I'm going to be a homeowner. I am tired of rent. I am not paying other people's rents, other people's mortgages. I'm not paying other people's bills with rent anymore. I should have been able to buy and settle down multiple times in my life growing up around this country. And for one reason or another, something or other, just things keep getting in the way, wrong, and moving me along. And I am now tired and old, and I'm knitting. And God thought that was funny. He liked the humor on it. So I'm going to give you work. I'm going to give you employment. You're going to get paid to stay at home and knit. So you might not want to celebrate any holidays because I don't even have a turkey. There's no Thanksgiving. I am done because I have not had the Christ-centered home environment and love that I was looking for in my life in this country. It's been awful, disappointing. So he says instead, well, I'm allowed to give gifts. And so while I've been searching around, I found a wheelchair-ramped mobile house in a park where there is no age limit on who lives there, who purchases in that place, and you have access to live there all year round. And it's under $300,000. You can literally just put $12,000 down and then just pay $1,400 a month in mortgage, which is less than rent. And it's 3 bedrooms and it's got a huge yard and it's like a fixer-upper kind of thing where I'm always tinkering around in the property because there's always something to do, like either getting a new fence or just painting the fence that's already in there. But I have to check all the boards first. So the timing for this book and its publication was really relevant to these plans because I want to get into my own business with home share, dealing with transition and recovery programs, restorative justice programs, mental health people, physical disabled people. I just have these plans with these mobile properties I'm buying, which I'll never sell again. There's no point because God's going to change the world, right? Things are not staying the way they are forever. So there's just no point in buying and selling when these places aren't really worth the money people are asking for. Like this place, I did find the assessment for it last year. It's not even worth $100,000. And so they want $259,000. So when they meet my friend or talk to my friend, see my friend who's in the wheelchair that I worked for from Australia, wanting to come visit, whatever, they'll probably be willing to make a deal with us that will make the down payment even better for me on the monthly payments. And that's the way to be today, because less is more, right? The more you have, the more you spend. You don't need to have more to buy more. It's just not necessary to do that. And I can't handle any of those new houses. There's nothing wrong with this, because this way you get more collateral and I get the freedom to travel. So the plan is to go from here to the States, because what I'm doing is finding my great escape. I want to get to Washington State. I love that state. Mount Vernon is there. There's tons of lakes, backcountry camping. There's tons of campgrounds and RV and mobile places. So there's tons of opportunity for me to do the same programs over there. I can do my lifeguarding and my swim instructing and my support worker stuff over there, and get escape from here. I can find places where I can stay for maybe up to 6 months, especially if I'm working, and then you have the work visas or whatever. And if all my book stuff is working and I'm touring and autographing and stuff, that means I'll have the liberty to be there longer than just 4 months at a time by law, by being born on this side, right? So that's why I want to get to where I'm going. It's Chilliwack. It's like an hour and a half from the border, and it's away from the city and everything that I grew up around and in the downtown east side, which is the only place I can live, because anywhere I go from here is into suburban neighborhoods and lifestyles and people I can't get it along with and be around. Which brings me to closing, the hair thing. You have to understand, I had blue hair. I had shaved head, Betty, Chelsea, Mohawk. When I was young, I had 21 body piercings. I listened to heavy metal music, steel toe boots, 14 holes, 21 holes, leather jackets, plaids. I do not relate to Canadians or middle class people or upper middle class people. That's not my world. I'm European. I'm extremely English. I love English food, English fish and chips. I love shortbread cookies. I like tartar sauce. So I'm saying that what's happened here with the change of culture and the heartbeat and its politics and the immigration changes, it's not for me. I can't, and I won't stay. It won't be a part of it. I can't stand the smell of it, never mind the taste of it. So I'm going to leave quietly. I probably could get, what do you call it? What did they call it? Like, amnesty, like get some protection. Oh, can I get my the right to freedom over on your side? But I'm European, so I'd rather get my right to go back there. So that's it. That's the plan. And so what I'm saying is that because of the hack jobs, the hairdressers that are being allowed to pass and get into the hairdressing world and charge money for are no good at it, just as bad as the writing. They hacked my hair. And they hacked the haircut. I tried 2 different places, and it was only good for one day once, to the point where I'm warning you people now that in spite of the timing for the Smallville reunion movie book, everybody's going to be stuck watching me walking around like Betty Boop. I'm going to have like little bangs, and the whole head's going to be shaved off, like to the point where I might buy my own clippers and do it myself. So be fair warned that one of these videos coming up, all of this frayedness, frazzledness of the disappointment of what's happened in my life since 2008, essentially, but 2011, since it's been video recorded on YouTube, is going to go away when it gets cut. It's just the best thing I could do is just let it all grow back from nothing. And the Bible talks about that, right? Cleansing yourself with the Lord, just getting rid of it all and starting again. And it's very healthy for your hair anyway. But I was trying to avoid all the hair coming in gray. So much for that. So the PDF file turns out to be a better answer. She says, I like PDF better. It does better and more. And ultimately, this means I didn't have to worry about pulling my hair out, trying to switch it all over to Word, except for one thing that we both came to conclusion of realizing. If I'm going to turn it into Kindle, if I'm going to do ebook for free at the library with the program that they have, I'm pretty sure they're not going to accept the PDF. But it was too late for me to check today, so I'll have to check again. If by the grace of God, it will convert the PDF into Kindle, then I'm done. I'm home free. I don't have to worry about Word. And the reason that PDF is better is because PDF works on Chromebook. PDF works and Google Docs. It works in the cloud. It works on my Chromebook. I don't have to worry about Word. I don't have to worry about any version of it. I can open and read everything and it is fine. So there was good news from those 2 days. And I wanted to share scriptures of what I read today, but I'm too tired. It's too late. So I'm going to go do some knitting because I'm making a scarf for my mom's like 71st birthday or something. So wait a minute. I'm 49, 59, 69. She's turning 70 this year? If I'm turning 50, then she's got to be turning 70 because she's 20 years older than me. And so that's a pretty big birthday. It's very expensive yarn. It's like $35 for just one of those. And she doesn't know I'm trying to pick up this habit. And then I'm going to do like chunky blankets for my daughter. So that's the point, is that I want to teach people and work with the people that I'm home sharing and stuff, doing support work with, how to do these things so that we can start a program where we're making a little bit of money with the stuff they're learning how to do, just to show that people with mental challenges, health problems, that they can still work and earn a living and do stuff that's fun too. And I like that idea very much. I'm not going to be some sort of genius at this, but at that point of turning 50, I'm old enough to be allowed to sit back and learn how to knit and crochet. Maybe not all the hoity-toity doily-woilies, but useful things like blankets and gloves and scarves and socks and hats, right? So that's my spiel. In the end, Jesus saved the day. The PDF was the solution to the whole thing. I don't have to sit there and haggle for 18 days fighting with the Word document, Word 2016. I can finish it all up really quickly in PDF. So I will get back to you guys on the document. I won't talk about it anymore unless I absolutely have to say something. I will get back to you on the document for the PDF of the Smallville movie book 1 and what it looks like when I'm finished doing all the itty bitty things I wanted done for me for money in 18 days from now. And then we'll have that file and compare it to everything. So just to remind you guys, or just to end with making sure you understand, I did keep the hack job file that she did test the Word document from the save bar in the Microsoft Publishing file that I had. I was quick to think. She's like, oh, you can download it onto your flash drive. And I'm like, no, I don't want that hack job anywhere near my files, anywhere near anything I've written. I don't want anybody to think I did that. I said, I'm going to send it to myself an email. So I've put it in email. It's there. Tonight's hack job from the save bar from the Microsoft Publishing file is in my email. And then I also emailed myself the PDF copy. So that's also in the email. So I can send those out to people so they can see the difference of the perfect version in PDF and the not perfect version in the Word document from 20,000 years ago. You have to look it up. Maybe Word was from 1999. Maybe it wasn't even 2000s. So the point is, I'm going to finish cleaning it up in PDF. And if I don't need to use Word at all, then I might still get a Kindle book out of this and I can start selling online and making a living from home in my new place. And it has the wheelchair ramp so I can have handicapped people, handicapped residents. And it also potentially is, planning ahead for my future with my health problems and any equipment I may need someday. Not today. Don't even think that. That's what physiotherapy and, yoga and aquafit and whirlpools and saunas and vacations to hot countries are for. So that's my thing. I'm out. Thanks for watching to the end because it's worth it. It's never boring to learn about what's happening now in my life. So all's well ends well. By the time I'm done, I'll have the money back. And when I have the money back, they can have the finished product of why I asked for my money back so they can understand that difference. And if Clark wants to go there with all the different jobs, the original perfect, the improved perfect, in 18 days time, and then their hack job, and then the library's test run of what would happen if we did this, and talk to them about all of that, he can. I'm good with that. So peace out. Good night, guys. And I'll be back here tomorrow on what's happening with other things. Bye. Sleep well. Dreams. Mwah. Prayers to everybody.